invited me out to dinner. And it was at a non-kosher restaurant, but I went, and I don't remember what I had, but she had salad with ham in it. And like, as I was just watching that, I suddenly lost all attraction for her. Like, she was really cute, and she'd invited me out, but I suddenly lost all attraction. So I'm 44 years old, I've never been married, but I've gone on a lot of dates. So I've gone on a lot of first dates. So, because I don't drink, my dates never feel comfortable ordering alcohol. So I think that's the reason I never got married, because I've never been able to get thirsty with my first date. To get over that initial awkward, a little bit of alcohol can lubricate those special occasions here. At yoga a couple of weeks ago, I met this really great Jewish girl and having this terrific conversation, and she was cute, she was smart, and I said, so what do you do? And she said, well, it's my life mission, get people to eat more bugs. Bugs. She's got a website, girlmeetsbug.com, and got a YouTube channel, same thing, Girl Meets Bug, and she has these cooking shows on how to prepare bugs and scorpions. So I'm like totally impaled on the horns of a dilemma. On the one hand, she's really hot. On the other hand, she's a bug. So I'm like totally just right there on the horns of that dilemma.
Yeah. Chocolate.
Can you imagine coming home and it's like she's preparing food for the kids? And it's like, okay, kids are going to eat termites tonight.
Chocolate coated ants.
It sort of reminds me of this lady I know.
That's the French delicacy.
When she found out I stopped eating chicken and meat, she told me, God gave you, pushing meat, but God is providing meat for you, and you're not taking something God provided you. So I didn't think it was a good answer then, but now I would tell her, okay, well, the chart says that drugs before 8 and 6 food kosher. One of them is chaga beans. I don't know if that's how food kosher. So I said, well, would you eat those? I mean, if God provided you, you don't eat those insects, so you're rejecting what God gave you, yeah, go ahead, eat those insects that are the majority of kosher beans, I guess. That would be good answer. But tell me about the context of just maybe why you eat that people eat that sometimes.
So,
it's only a mission.
she told me the grasshopper,
is what you got to know. Which one's sorry kosher, which are not.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
even if
experts who are out in the field and know which is supposed to be preparing for restaurants, I just want the people who say that we're accepting what God gave us to be the person who God to be the
So I organized a protest outside of this restaurant that doesn't exist anymore. And COVID came, remember? And they were going to serve giraffes meat. Remember I did something to giraffes? They had these special
what's interesting? You got a stepladder to do it. I'll tell you, you got to take a stepladder. What's interesting, when you look at a calendar, it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you count, you would see the seventh day is the Sabbath. And you observe the seventh day. It's strange to think if the first day is Sunday, what do I do best at work? Some people do that. That normally you would work, you would get tired and rest. So it's natural that you would take the seventh day. Now Christians at one time had done that. They actually did observe the Sabbath.
Then around the 2nd and 3rd century, they were distinguished themselves from Jews. It's not so much that they observed the Sabbath on Sunday, rather they observed the Sunday as a separate day, as the Lord's Day, as the way there was like strands in Christianity, very tiny strands, particularly around the time of the Reformation of Protestant Christians who we need to go back to the Seventh-day Sabbath. The Seventh-day Adventist is the largest Christian denomination in the Sabbath. There are about 20 million Seventh-day Adventists in the world. Yeah, it like doubled every 20 years, but No, it said more than any that keep the Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh-day Adventist. So,
And how many Jewish people in the world?
there are about 12 million.
Not that many. There's almost twice as many Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah. And Seventh-day Adventists missionize, so they go out to the world and they make converts. So there are a lot of Seventh-day Adventist converts in. Where were the Hutus and Tutsis killing each other?
Oh, I think you're Rwanda.
Rwanda. So there were like Seventh-day Adventist church leaders who were convicted of participating in genocide. Genocide is not a typical practice for Seventh-day Adventists, but there were a lot of Seventh-day Adventists in Rwanda on both sides. It didn't stop people from getting voted. It didn't stop Seventh-day Adventists from participating in the genocide. Another day that my life forever changed, February 1988, I woke up with what seemed like the flu. And after a couple of days, I thought I was strong enough to go back to college. So I went back to school, and a couple of days later, I got sick again. And I started to recover after 2 days, went back to school, and then I got sick again. And eventually I had to drop out of school. And eventually I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. And I basically spent most of from 1988 to 1994 in bed. I could just laid me out. So I went back at various times to my Adventist upbringing to like a Seventh-day Adventist health farm. Like I was trying everything to try to recover my health, and I was willing to do anything.
And you were still vegetarian.
No, I'm still vegetarian. Never changed from that. But we experimented with different diets. Went on 3-day fasting, juice fasts, all sorts of different diets, like hot cold water treatment, all these different natural remedies. So, as well as traditional medicine, I went to dozens of regular doctors, and nothing really made much difference. So, during the crisis in my life, I was listening to Dennis Prager on the radio on KBC. That's how I got interested in Judaism, and I eventually converted to Judaism in 1993. I remember I came home that night from the Beit Din. I was living with my parents at the time, wearing a yarmulke around the house, and I'd answer the phone alone. I guess I was rebelling.
But you had your own separate food or dishes for,
Well, we're all vegetarian, so I wasn't. My initial conversion was Reform, which is there with the only synagogue remotely near me. I was in rural Northern California. So I came home from the Beit Din and told my father what I'd done. And he looked up from this book he's studying and he said, well, they're not like the Adventists out there proselytizing. He knew how many times I'd tried and been knocked back, and how hard it was for me to get into Jewish life. And so that was about the experience.
How old were you then?
So this was 1993, so I was 27. So I met this woman through Singles Ad, and I moved to Orlando, Florida to be with her. And
a Jewish woman?
Jewish woman. And she insisted that I go see her psychiatrist. He put me on a medication called Nardil, which is an MAO inhibitor, and somehow it really helped me. And I kind of managed to claw my way back to about 2/3 of a normal life. It's kind of where I've been for the last 17 years. And then I moved to Los Angeles. So being vegetarian is different in Jewish life than Adventist life. One thing, most Adventists don't check for Hashgacha, just identification. It's good. I don't worry about that. So the more traditional Seventh-day Adventists will avoid any food with lard in it. But we were on the evangelical wing, so we didn't care if food had lard in it. My dad said it's just a chemical. So, Christ has fulfilled those laws. So it's much more difficult being vegetarian Jewish, because now I have to check the Hashgacha on prepared foods before I just eat anything, as long as it wasn't an obvious dead animal.
But at some point you had an Orthodox conversion?
Yeah. I finally finished my Orthodox conversion in September of last year. So 13 months ago.
Was that the RCC?
No, it was with the LA Beit Din. So, trying to think, also the diet's quite different. Like, I don't remember reading Kugel as a Seventh-day Adventist. There was no brisket and lox and chicken.